Hello, today I'm going to tell you just how easy it is to change the internal battery on a HP Pavilion 360 laptop. For about a year now I've had problems with the battery. It's been so bad at times that I've had to plug in the AC adapter for it to boot up the laptop at all. And it got so progressively bad about a month ago that I just had to buy a new battery for it. And I was a little bit worried about how difficult it might be to actually change the battery. But the reality is it's actually really easy. I'm so impressed with how HP have designed this that I want to share with you just how easy it is for you to change the battery yourself. So listen on. So this is my HP Pavilion X360 laptop. It's the 14DH052SA model, and it takes the HT03XL battery. Before you attempt to open up the laptop to change the battery, make sure you've got the right battery for your laptop model. I'm quite sure that there are other Pavilion 360s which will come to part quite as easily as this one does. But you must make sure you've got the right battery. If we come over here, you can see the battery that I've taken out recently. And this is the original HP battery. And you can see quite clearly that it is the HT03XL battery. And I've bought a replacement for it. It's not the HP because HP is a lot more expensive. It's sub £30, and at sub £30 you get around about a year's warranty max. And okay, they're all made in China, but they're going to work. And the laptop's 4 years old now, so I really don't know if I'm going to keep the laptop much more than another year before I upgrade it to probably another Pavilion, because they're such good laptops. And so I don't do gaming on it. Just use it for normal photographic and word processing use. So I may or may not change it. So I didn't want to spend the sort of money that it would cost to buy a HP direct replacement battery. There are some basic tools you need to do this, and most important of which is a small crosshead screwdriver like this one, readily available. I'm not sure whether you call it a Phillips or a posi drive, but certainly they're readily available, and the screws come off very easily. The second thing I've used to actually remove the bottom cover is just a loyalty card, and it worked extremely well. So the first thing we do is to make sure the laptop is turned off, and then we're going to turn it over so we can see where some of the screws are that we need to take off. So all I've done now is flip the laptop over so it's on its top, and you can see the bottom panel which we have to remove. You can see here that's the air intake for the fan. You can see the hinges at the back here, and at the front you can see that there are two screws that are obvious here and here, but there's also two more screws, and it's fairly obvious that they like to conceal for cosmetic reasons where they are. So the first was I took off this which is effectively a foot. It's just a piece of plastic. Peel it off. You might need a sharp blade to start it off to make sure it didn't cause any damage. So remove that and you'll find another screw under there, and the same on this side. Remove that, put it somewhere, it's sticky and it sticks back again, so don't worry about that, but that's where you're going to find the second screw. So once you've removed the four screws which hold the lower casing of a laptop to the main laptop chassis, the only difficult part really is prying these two apart. I don't know if you can see this very well, but there's a very small gap here which you need a very thin, a fraction of a millimetre and fairly inflexible blade to go into. Perhaps there's a watchmaker's flat screwdriver tip that might go in there, or perhaps a pry tool. I don't have either of those, and I'm not going to tell you what it was that I used in the end, because it's very, well, really not health and safety to tell you. It worked very well for me, but it might result in injuries to someone else. So that's a difficult part. You need to get a fairly inflexible blade that's a fraction of a millimetre at its tip to actually just pry those two parts together, apart rather. Once you've got a small gap there, you can just put your loyalty card into the gap that opens up a few millimeters inside, and then just draw it down. And if it's a few millimeters inside the case, you'll literally feel and hear all the sort of clips within the laptop springing apart, and it will separate really easily. Once you've done one side to go along the top, springing it apart, and then the last side. Very satisfying actually when you hear all the spricks, the actual clips springing apart. So that's the difficult part. Once you've put your loyalty card in, or whatever it is you choose to use. I use the loyalty card because it worked really well for me, but a professional would tell you, no, use something else. I'm not professional, but what I did worked for me, and it's things that we all got in the house that we can easily access. So once they spring together, the bottom part just literally comes off, and then inside you can see the battery very clearly. Yeah, just try not to, if you do use a sharpish instrument, try not to damage the actual casing, because it's quite soft plastic, the bottom part, and good luck with that, really. That's the only difficult part. And inside you'll see the laptop, and you'll see very clearly in front of you the battery. So this is what I've removed. So you can see the battery, it's obvious, and there are several screws on the battery that you have to take off, and you can see, I think you can see it quite well there, you've got little arrows where it shows you where the screws are you have to take off. And let me count them, but it seems that there's I don't think there was a screw there, but it's probably about five screws or 6 screws, but it's obvious. Just take them out, and then you just where the top connector, which is this piece here, it just slots into a connector on the motherboard itself, and you just pull it back. It just comes out so easily. Then you lift off the old battery, put the new battery on there. Just make sure that you get the locating screws on, and that it's screwed firmly back onto the onto the actual laptop chassis. So just a few screws to take out of the battery, no flimsy ribbon cables to take off anywhere. Then you just, once you've put the replacement battery in and screwed it in, you just clip the bottom of the laptop case back in, and again when you clip it in, just ease in the clips, you'll actually hear them clip into place. Again, it's quite satisfying actually to see the whole laptop going back together very neatly, even before you put the 4 securing screws in. Okay, so that's a very cost-effective repair. I'm sorry that I've not taken my laptop to pieces to show you exactly what I've done, but it really is so easy, it's just not necessary. As long as you take out those 4 screws that I showed you, and just using something like a loyalty card or whatever to ease off all the clips around, the whole thing just springs apart, and there's no ribbon cables to change or anything like that, just a few screws holding the battery in, clip it all back together again. It's so easy, and again, I think that HP have done an amazing job making it so easy for anybody to really change their battery. So I hope it's been useful for you, and if you've been put off by changing your battery on your HP 360, don't be put off any longer. Buy one and go for it. It is really very easy. Bye for now.